Hello, week 6 presentation here. My name is Matt McCurry out of Steamfitters Local 353 in Peoria, Illinois, and I'm going to present you with the problem of absenteeism in our school and in my rigging class. Some of it is, well, most of it is because we have such a small local that several of our students have to travel and do powerhouse outages and stuff like that to keep the money coming in. So we let our apprentices travel if need be to make money, and so sometimes they don't get the classwork that they need. So here is the first page of my PowerPoint talking about absenteeism in our apprenticeship. So it is an issue in every class, not just mine. Mine is a certification class though, so there's a lot of information that needs to be taught, and it is hard to make that up if people are missing class all the time. And we have to try to keep everybody on track, so it's hard to go back and just teach one student if they're missing a bunch of classes. So as this says, missed class time does have to be made up. They have to have so many hours to get out of the apprenticeship anyway, so class time is mandatory. Next slide. My solution, we've had kind of a policy in place and it seems to work okay, but there's probably some other things that we could do to try to make this better. We must collaborate at our school and work with our business agent as well as our apprenticeship coordinator, and try to figure out an outage schedule so we can try and schedule the students around those outages. So usually there's an outage season per se, and 3 or 4 months usually, a lot of times during summertime. So that kind of works out. Usually a lot of outages do come up kind of randomly, so we have to try to schedule around those so we don't have guys missing so many classes. This certification class, rigging class that I do teach, is there's a lot of math and figuring weights of loads and stuff like that, and there's a lot of formulas, so it's hard to take all that in if you're missing a bunch of classes. Makeup classes must be scheduled for these students. The only issue with that is I'm not always necessarily available. I am kind of the only rigging instructor right now, and I'm not always available depending on my work schedule. So I just teach at night and work during the day. So there's that. And then what we try to do is if a guy's missing a bunch of classes or girl is missing a bunch of classes, we'll kind of drop them out of our class and reschedule them in another semester, or I do kind of do a hurry up 40-hour class for the certification, usually for journeymen, so we can enroll them in that class too if need be. All right, next slide. The resources. There are additional funds needed, so yeah, if I'm teaching extra classes and stuff, I get paid for those extra classes, so that'd be the extra money needed. And most of our classes have gone to a day class schedule, so I don't really have a problem finding classroom to use or anything like that. During this COVID thing's been a little crazy, so I might have a classroom with everybody spread out, but hopefully we get back to normal soon. We do have the funds available in our Ed Trust. Our Ed Trust is very run very well, and we do have plenty of money there for that. And maybe we need to train another teacher, because I'm not always available. So those are the resource situation. As far as action, we do I collaborate with my coordinator and our business agent. We get together and try to find a feasible schedule for these guys, so they can get to all the classes and get through the certification. I physically track attendance every night that I have class, and we also have a fingerprint machine, so they have to fingerprint in to prove that they were there and fingerprint out at night. And depending on the student's knowledge, I determine whether or not the students who miss a certain amount of classes, whether they need to just make up a couple classes, or if we need to enroll them in another class, a journeyman class, or just a few extra classes to get some makeup time in. And then, yeah, I have to get back to my coordinator and make sure that's all, that classes are available and stuff like that. So there's that. My evaluation, I evaluate this every day by, tracking, they got to be present. They have to be present, and my classes are small enough to where I get to know everybody pretty easily. And so I track them by taking the attendance. The coordinator tracks them by the fingerprint machine. We have used this method for several students, and it's worked out pretty well. In the long run, I guess a guy or girl that's in this class really want the certification. We do have people in several different sections of the pipe trades, so some of these guys don't use rigging a lot, and they just get entered into this class as part of the apprenticeship and don't really have any interest in the class. So it's always hard to keep anybody interested if they don't want that, so we try to help these guys out because there's a lot of guys in our local that have to travel. I'd say half of our local, we have a 400-man local ish, and half of our local probably does a lot of travel work. So my one thing is what I think maybe as far as our hall goes is maybe we should make this mandatory class for the industrial students, and maybe that would take care of the situation. Thank you very much, and it was a good class. Thank you.